All right, so this is a brief intro into some of the digestive models that we have in the lab, along with some microscope slides. I'm just going to talk you through the models and microscope slides relevant to the digestive system. So starting here, this is a model of a head, obviously, but it's relevant because it's showing the three pairs of salivary glands. So you got your parotid gland here, your submandibular here, and your sublingual gland here. And remember, they secrete saliva into the oral cavity. This model and this model are both models of the intestines, and they're similar yet a little bit different. So these are the villi. So remember the villi, and on top of these villi, you would have tiny little microvilli. So within each villus, we have a lacteal. Here it's shown in green. We have an arteriole, and we have a venule. And so each villus is going to have those three things, and that's where all the absorption takes place. Here's just the lymphatic nodule. So we know we have Peyer's patches in the ileum of the small intestine. I don't think that's what this is supposed to be. I think this is just a lymphatic nodule that's in the intestines. This is the same thing, just a little bit different. So again, these are villi, or one would be a villus. In each villus, you have a lacteal here in yellow. Over here, arteriole, venule, but each one would have all three. And then those little dots are supposed to represent the microvilli. Right, and then you see the little crypts of Lieberkühn down in here, where you get cells that secrete some hormones and help with digestion. All right, this is a model, this and this, same model, it's just front and back. This is a model of the lining of the stomach. So you can actually see the 4 layers of the GI tract. So you got the innermost mucosa, beneath it the submucosa, and you have the muscularis, and on the very outside you have the adventitia or serosa. And you can tell this is the stomach because it has 3 layers of smooth muscle, unlike other places of the GI tract. And all the little wavy-like structures here are the rugae inside the stomach. This is a model of the stomach, just showing you the whole thing. So it's a J shape, and you can see the different regions: cardia, fundus, body, pylorus. And here's your pyloric orifice with the pyloric sphincter, and this is where your esophagus would be. And remember, you have a pyloric sphincter here, and you have an inferior esophageal sphincter here that regulates food into it. And again, all these little wavy things, these are the rugae of the stomach. Here's a model of the liver, and this view of the liver, you see all 4 lobes. So you get the left, the right, quadrate, and caudate. So remember, the quadrate's always on the side of the gallbladder. Another picture of the liver. So from this view, you only see the right and the left, and you get the falciform ligament here. This is the model of the inside of the liver. So these are the liver lobules filled with hepatocytes. And if we zoom in on one of those, it would look like this. So you got your central vein, hepatic artery, hepatic portal vein, bile duct, and all your bile canaliculi, and then all of these little grooves. These are the sinusoids of the liver. They're filled with Kupffer cells, and all these other cells are hepatocytes. Remember, Kupffer cells are the phagocytic cells in the liver. All right, and here's a model of the large intestine. So this is where the ileum would come into the large intestine, ileocecal valve. This is the cecum, this expanded region right here. So cecum. This is your appendix hanging off of it. Then you have the ascending, transverse, descending sigmoidal colon, followed by the rectum and anal canal. And this model is good because you can also see this little strip right here. This is the tinea coli, that smooth muscle. And the little bulges that you're seeing all along, those are the haustra. And the last model is the pancreas, which you see right here, pancreatic duct. And this is the duodenum. This is just showing the spleen, but the only thing relevant here, you remember the major duodenal papillae is going to be inside the duodenum right here. The sphincter of Oddi's right there, and you'd also have the bile duct coming in and emptying bile into the duodenum at the same place. So microscope slides, these 3 microscope slides are showing salivary glands. And so they all kind of have the same appearance. This is zoomed in a little bit more, but you see how you get these little clear spaces. So these are salivary glands that secrete saliva. So parotid, then you have the submaxillary and submandibular. So as far as the liver goes, you can barely make out a liver lobule right here. There's another one right here. So this thing in the middle would be the central vein. And this is a liver lobule. I do have another better picture coming up. So here you can clearly see a liver lobule, central vein being in the middle, and that portal triad would be on the outside with the hepatic artery, hepatic portal vein, and bile duct. Here's just zoomed in even more. Then this is you've seen the pancreas before, but again, this is supposed to be the pancreas, a little islet of Langerhans right here. The digestive portion of the pancreas is all this stuff out here, though, the acini. All right, as far as the small intestine goes, so this is the duodenum, both of these. The way you can identify the duodenum, one, you see the simple columnar epithelium, where you get all the digestion taking place. And then specifically in the duodenum, you get all these little glands in here called Brunner's glands. You can see them really nice right here. So these Brunner's glands are only found in the duodenum. That's how you know this is the duodenum. So coming here, this is supposed to be the jejunum because you don't see those Brunner's glands and you don't see the Peyer's patches. So I want to show you the Peyer's patches. These little, this is the ileum. So this is the surface of the ileum, simple columnar epithelium. All these little kind of oval shapes here, these are the Peyer's patches. Remember, this is lymphatic tissue in the ileum. And here's another microscope slide of it. So if you see this, you know it's the ileum because of the Peyer's patches. If you don't see Peyer's patches or Brunner's glands, it's got to be the duodenum. I'm sorry, it's got to be the jejunum. So duodenum has Brunner's glands, ileum, Peyer's patches, and the jejunum doesn't have either. This is the large intestine or colon, and it's identifiable because it has just tons of goblet cells. So you can kind of see it from this view, but you zoom in a little bit, and all these little clear circles, those are all goblet cells. So if you see a ton of goblet cells, it's got to be the large intestine or the colon.